My inspirations have nothing to do with my art. I am inspired by the wonderfulness of being able to create, to be given a gift to be able to create. I need no inspiration. I need inspiration to do mundane things like shopping or talking to people who speak nonsense. I need to be inspired by their frailty or their weaknesses or whatever, so that I can continue communications with non-essential and non-entity spoken words. But if there's a duty to it all, I think the duty is to be in touch with your spirit of the universe, so you can become a messenger, so that you can put forth clear, precise, magnificent wonderments that come from the beyond. And the beyond is the spirit of the universe, your cosmic forces that are like an imprint of your fingerprints. Each and every person's fingerprints are different than the billions of people in the world, and you can be sure that your cosmic imprint is exactly that, totally different and unique than anyone else.
What is the difference between an art and art?
I hope we're talking about fine art, because there are other differences in regard to commercial art. Photography is an art. It is a craft and can be learned. Art cannot be learned. Art can only be unleashed. And the pottery maker is a craft maker, and the craft maker creates an art. And cooking is an art. And the way you dress yourself and prepare yourself and the way you live, it's an art, and can be an art. And how you live your life can be a wonderful art, but it's not art. Art comes through you, not from you. It passes through you, and it's filtered by all the things that have taken place in your lifetime, and then explodes in dynamic energy on a canvas. No an art ever has that happening. What do people mean when they say art is in the eye of the beholder? At least 20 times a month, some cretin says to me, art is in the eye of the beholder. It is bullshit. It will forever remain eternally bullshit. It is spoken by arrogant cretins who would like you to believe that any of their potchkering, which could be done with a pencil up their ass, becomes art because they dabbled, and the dabblers will never create art. Art is not in the eye of the beholder. There is a classic, and everything emanates from the classic.
So the dictionary definition of art, then, is wrong.
Absolutely wrong. It is not an imitation of nature. The artist is nature. So how could the artist imitate himself?
And when the dictionary says that it's the conscious production of something beautiful in a graphic or plastic medium, the dictionary's wrong.
Well, no, the dictionary is not wrong for commercial art. When those elements are put together, what we end up with is a composition. And a composition is a relative and a neighbor of interior design. And the placement and the correct placement of all of these elements give you nothing other than a perfect picture.
Do you believe that there is a relationship between creativity, spirituality, and sexuality?
Absolutely, there's a relationship. But the relationship is between spirituality and sexuality, not with creativity. Creativity ranks with imagination. It's a surface element. Everyone is born with creativity, and before they grind you into the dirt, creativity is very important, but not unique. Everybody has it to be creative. The question is, are you a creator? Because the creator is something that goes beyond the mind, beyond logic, beyond reason, and that can't come from the correct order of things. All great art is discovered. but the time element may not be at the rhythm that the individual thinks that it should be.
Is history ever wrong about an artist?
Absolutely. There are many paintings in the museum that are paintings of mud, that are paintings of disorder and chaos without lyrical rhythms. And those pieces of Hazari, garbage, they will remain on the walls while the donations are coming in from those people who placed them there. It's proven that talent comes from great desire, from obsession, from compulsion towards the arts. And that's a wonderful sickness, a great sickness that will change the universe. Genius, on the other hand, we never know about genius, because certainly the outsiders had genius, the mentally unbalanced who had no formal education in the arts have shown genius, and genius is like a renaissance, and you can do everything. It comes to you from the great source of your cosmic imprint, and you have no fear, so that you're able to dance among the tulips.
So how would you rank yourself against those artists of the past who have danced among the tulips? Or is that an unfair question?
No, that's a very good question, as a matter of fact. The reality I have is that in the world there are probably 200,000 musical groups playing at the present time. All of them think of themselves as musicians. Most of them are boys in the band. There are probably 100 musicians throughout the entire universe who play pure notes. There are probably 100 artists who create wonderful, pure color and shape and form, and I am one of them. Everyone can learn to draw and paint. That's a skill, like dancing. When you use quick, quick, slow as the method to learn to dance, that's a formula. And a formula has nothing to do with the creation of art. So an individual learning to draw, and after he finishes learning to draw and thinks that he has this wonderful drawing, he can then trot down to the LA County Museum or some other museum and say, gee, I'm having a really good day today, so I'm going to make you a present of my wonderful drawing. And the reason he had the balls to do such a thing in the first place is the school that he went to. The person who did the best drawing was considered the best artist, but the reality is drawing has nothing to do with art. You do not have to learn to draw in order to create magnificence. And art schools are not creating that magnificence. That magnificence comes from you being empty and comes from you surrendering.
Can it be learned?
No, it cannot be learned, but it can be unleashed. Now, the difficulty comes in finding the unleasher. Few people in the universe ever have an opportunity to come across the unleasher. And although they may come across that unleasher, they may not know what to do with the unleasher.
And the soul of art happens in the moment of the creation of art?
You said a very, very important thing. To live your life, and art is your life, you must always be in the moment.
So what's the best background for an artist, somebody who wants to become an artist, to study, to read, to go to museums, to meditate, to be with a spiritual teacher or apprentice to a creator?
I think that all of those things are wonderful. But background is not necessary to be a creator. Temperament is necessary. Having the temperament, having the dedication, having the obsession, having the strength is your background. Style is something that artists universally have been trapped in. As soon as someone likes your art, they want you to repeat that style. That style is what makes them successful. And when Pollock went away from that style, he failed miserably. from a public standpoint. But those paintings were interim paintings. They were limbo paintings waiting for the next explosions. But unfortunately, he exploded his car first. Education has nothing to do with how you experience that creation of art. For you to be free, for you to be empty and come there without any preconceived notions, and just to be thrilled by the moment, by the color, by the explosions in front of you. Ooh, it feeds your soul. And the peasant, he has that gentility of soul. He's unencumbered.
And you have paintings in palaces in the world and in all kinds of interesting collections. What has your experience with collectors been like? And art dealers, if you don't mind our asking.
Well, they're two separate things.
Yeah.
50% of the collectors buy something so they can turn it over and make some money on it. The other 50% love art, and they just want to be surrounded by wonderful pieces of art. And I found that without the collectors that have supported me and have been my patrons, I could have never survived. And all I wanted was a bare survival anyhow, just so I could keep painting, because what else is there? The difference between it all is, when you look at some of my representational things, the more realistic things that people can relate to without fear, those works are fun. Now, someone could say, wait, there's nothing wrong with fun. You're absolutely right. It's fun. But those are things I can do in my sleep, and those are things that I can teach you. It's just a skill, and it's fun. But the works from the unconscious is internal joy. Overflows all my boundaries. Makes me breathe clear. And it's wonderful. Really wonderful. Well, my belief about God is that God is not in a temple, that God is in each individual.